Fix your credit, girl, get at it, get your bag up. Hit that gym and get back fine.
Go get that degree, go girl, focus on me. Unlock potential that you
Guys, so I'm pan searing my pre-boiled turkey. Yes, I took the easy way out and I pre-boiled it the night before until it was falling off the bone. Right now I want to get it browned up so I can get some color to my gravy for my Ghibli gravy, and then I'm going to mix the turkey inside of my dressing. Right now, I'm mixing my seasoning with some dried parsley, making a compound butter so that I can butter my turkey and use it for some other things that we're going to make as well. So this is pretty much just add my own seasoning and dried parsley to some butter to flavor up the butter, and you can call it compound butter, seasoned butter, it doesn't matter. I try my best to make a very, very small Thanksgiving meal because I'm only a family of 4 with 2 dogs. So right here, I'm just showing you how thin my cornbread layer is. I literally only baked 1 pack of yellow cornbread, and I'm using 1 pack of pepper-rich breadcrumbs. I wanted to just make a small meal because I don't want it to go to waste. I don't want to have to throw a lot of food away. So I'm literally I pre-baked my cornbread. I'm crumbing it all together, trying to get it from stuck to the pan because it was just 1 pack. So that 1 pack was very, very thin. So I had to literally scrape it from the pan, as you can see. But it turned out to be just enough. This brand, the herb seasoned classic pepper-rich breadcrumbs in my dressing. When I'm making a big batch, whether I'm making a big or a small batch, I'm always using this setup right here. Yellow cornbread mix with the Pepperidge Farm. The Pepperidge Farm breadcrumbs are so flavorful. If you taste a piece before you even add your own seasoning, you'll know that it brings a great flavor to the dressing. I made a very, very small batch of yams for the sweet potato pie. As you can see, I did not buy enough yams to make 2 pie crusts. I have my daughter here mixing up the mixture that we're going to use, putting the ingredients in, the nutmeg, the cinnamon, the brown sugar, and the vanilla, and we did put some white sugar in it as well. Once she finished mixing everything up and tasting it, they actually didn't even want to turn it into a pie. Because I didn't buy enough yams, it probably wasn't even going to fill up the entire pie crust anyway. So the kids just literally asked, could they just keep it like this, mixed up, and eat it like it was a yam. Maybe like a yam mash. I don't know, but we didn't put it in the pie crust. I wanted to stay on budget. I did not want to overspend. I did not want to buy too much food. Oops, we put way too much butter in there, so we're going to take a piece out. But anywho, I wanted to stay on my budget, so I didn't buy enough yams, as you can see, but I stayed on budget. I didn't overspend, and I definitely didn't make too much food, and that was the whole objective because, honey, groceries are expensive. I'm always on a budget, and we had to do what we had to do. Right now, I am breaking up my gizzards for my Ghibli gravy and my dressing. I like to put gizzards in my dressing, and then I also save a little bit of it to add into my Ghibli gravy. I'm from the country, y'all, so every time me and my granny and my family members made dressing for the holidays, we had a Ghibli gravy. So I don't like to not have gizzards, but of course that's optional. Right here, we are sauteing our bell peppers and onions for the turkey. They're gonna go in the oven and bake some more with with the turkey before we actually put it into our dressing mixture. So I like to get my vegetables soft on top of the stove, so it does, especially since our turkey was already done and was just going in the oven just to brown up a little bit more and get more tender. I like to add a little bit of flour over my vegetables after they get kind of soft. So this is what you see me here. I'm mixing up the flour into the vegetables so that when I pour it onto the turkey, it makes like just a tad bit thicker roux, because we did massage the turkey with our butter compound that we saw earlier. And so those vegetables with the flour and the butter compound that's added there in the pan is going to make a nice creamy roux from the turkey. When I tell you this turkey with this butter compound that we made and put on there, it was super, super simple. Nothing but seasoning, dried parsley. You could put thyme, oregano. You could put whatever you want, whatever kind of herbs and seasoning you want in your butter compound. Massage it on your meat, massage it on your vegetables or whatever you want to use. And when you cook with it, and it meshes so well with whatever you cook it with. I mean, I'm telling you, this turkey was just falling. Look at that, falling off the bone. That butter melted in there, had it so flavorful. And once I deboned everything, I wound up putting the turkey pieces in my dressing. I took the bones out for the dogs, of course, because half of this meal is for the dogs. So we deboned the turkey, put the bones away for the dogs' dinner, and everything was just, I mean, seasoned to perfection. Not salty, not bland, just right. Now we're getting ready to make the wet part for the dressing. So the turkey that I boiled, I'm pouring the juice, I'm using the broth. Let's be clear, I don't buy chicken broth anymore to put in my dressing or put in anything that I cook. If I'm boiling a meat or I'm making a meat, I'm strictly using the broth that is made from the meat. So there's really no point in spending extra money, in my opinion, on chicken broth, when if you are cooking the meat, you're gonna get some type of liquid from the meat, or you can be intentional about it and make sure you get a liquid from the meat. So that's why I was glad that I did decide to be lazy and pre-boil my turkey, because I didn't want my turkey in the oven baking for 3 or 4 hours just to get the tenderness that I wanted out of it. So that was my whole purpose for boiling the turkey the night before. But I also wanted to boil it because I needed a stock of broth for my dressing. And so when I seasoned the water that the turkey was in, it made a perfect stock broth for the dressing. So all I had to do was keep some of that, pour it in a pot, put my gizzards in there like so, and add my cream of mushroom, add my cream of chicken, and I boiled that until my cream of mushroom and cream of chicken came to a melt. I didn't make it too hot because I had to pour it over into my breadcrumb mixture, and it was going to go in the oven anyway. So I just kind of wanted to melt my creams in there really well. But the seasoning from the turkey broth, and then I added a little bit more seasoning like some thyme, some oregano, some garlic and pepper and stuff like that, and it was good to go. Now, I'm going to be extremely honest with y'all, because y'all know I'm raw and uncut. I ain't going to never keep a secret. I totally forgot to add my egg to the dressing, but I'm glad I did, because I've never had anybody's dressing, and I've never made a dressing without putting egg in my dressing. And me and my family enjoyed it without the egg, to be honest with you, because we have enough liquid in it. You know, the breadcrumbs are already going to get baked in the oven. And once we tasted it without an egg to bind it together, we actually prefer it without the egg. I know most people, we grew up putting egg in our dressing to bind it together, to hold it together, and it kind of makes the dressing come out like a cake consistency. But since I did forget to put the egg in it, and it came out kind of like the same way as if we put the egg, but it was just way more moist, not too wet, not too moist, but it was just right for us. So we decided that we're just gonna continue making our dressings without eggs on this end. But of course, to each his own. And what you see me doing is I had to debone the turkey. I was going to put the bones in there with the turkey, but I transferred my dressing over to a smaller pan because this is a small pan for a small family. So I didn't want to cook it in that big pan that I started out with. So I went ahead and took the bones off of the meat because I needed to save those for the dogs anyway. And I'm glad I did because I was able to debone and devein the turkey and just put, the straight up meat in there before we popped it in the oven. Sauteing some bacon and onion for our zucchini and asparagus vegetable medley. And we had to stop and future our real sangria drink. Have to stop and take a sip of wine. Y'all know how we do over here. So if you was in the kitchen cooking, I'm pretty sure you had your drink of choice with you. This was my drink of choice while I cooked my Thanksgiving meal. $12 from the liquor store. This sangria right here is really, really, really sweet. Great flavor. I love this brand. I added a little bit of our leftover compound butter to the vegetables. Oh, y'all, it turned out so flavorful. This asparagus and zucchini with some sauteed bacon and onion. Oh my God, y'all have to try this. But honey, this vegetable medley was lit. Okay, so here goes the good part. My 12-year-old is mixing up her fully loaded mashed potato. We have some Velveeta cheese slices in there. We're putting some bacon pieces in there that I picked up out of our vegetable medley. Sure did. Dropped some bacon in there. She put some seasoning, some dried parsley. Oh my God, that was good. And then we have beans right here. Just 1 can of seasoned butter beans for the dogs. We didn't eat any of this, but I find that my dogs really like these beans. So I made them some beans and mixed it up with their dressing, honey. They had turkey. They had turkey bones. They had dressing mixed with some butter beans. Y'all, they ate good. Everybody ate good. You hear me? Here is the final product of the dressing. No egg in it. It turned out so moist, so flavorful. Oh my God. This was one of my best dressings, guys. When I tell y'all my kids tore up that pan. My 12-year-old potatoes turned out so good. Oh, y'all, I probably indulged a little bit too much in potatoes this weekend, but who cares? I forgot to tell y'all we did make some sausages for our baked potatoes. We are having potatoes 2 ways. We're doing barbecue sausage with a little bit of barbecue sauce, like a fully loaded mashed baked potato. And then we also did one with a cheese sauce. Right now, I'm just showing y'all the beautiful lineup that we have for my family of 4 with 2 dogs, which makes a family of 6. And this meal was right on time. It was just enough. It was very cost efficient. It was everything that I had set out and planned for it to be. Oh, this food was good to me. Once I finished cooking, guys, I went over to my friend's house. We have been friends since high school. This was my high school bestie. We wound up moving in separate cities and kind of lost touch, but now we live in the same city. We're rebuilding our friendship. We never fell out or anything. We kind of just grew apart because we lived in different cities, but now we live in the same city. She goes to nursing school here. She works at the big cancer hospital, MD Anderson, here in Houston. She's about to graduate nursing school very soon, in a couple months, and I'm so excited for us to be back in each other's lives. So she invited me over for dinner, and we played a couple of games, had some shots, and her food was amazing. without stumbling the word.
But one person is gonna do it. You're going against 2 or 3 other people. So as he's saying it, he's gonna mix it up. Like Tommy says.
But you're gonna say toe, shoulder, head, and you gotta repeat it.
No, you don't have to repeat it every time the person says it. You gotta repeat it.
Oh, where it's at. Okay.
And he's gonna go out slow, but he's gonna pick it up and go faster.
Girl, now. And if you mess up,
Right.
you gotta take a shot.